guys, welcome to my YouTube channel, or welcome back if you've been here before. My name is Liz and this is Let's Get Lizicle, where we do everything card making. And today is day 5 of the holiday card series, and we're going to be doing a couple of cards. I was going to do one of these off camera and decided to do it on camera, so I'll start off with the easier one first. I'm going to be using some watercolor paper. This is the Stonehenge cold press watercolor paper that I got on Amazon. I'll link it below. I just cut it to a 4 1/4 by 5.5 panel. For now, I'm going to cut it down further because, of course, we're going to be using Honeybee's Deckled Edges frames, the A2 size. We're going to be using my Sassy Santa stamp set because I like these tiny sentiments because I don't want to cover up a lot of the card. And then we're going to be doing a second one with like the white, which is just Canson's XL watercolor paper, which I got at Michael's like years ago. I don't do watercolor enough, and this was fairly cheap. So again, I cut it down to a 4 1/4 by 5.5. And we're going to be using the Santa from the stamp set. This is from Simon. It came out in, I think, card bases in here. 2023, which is I think when I bought it. So I haven't even used this set yet. This is brand new still. So I decided to use it. I have a similar one here from MFT, and I think this one would be fun to use with the other ones as well, because you could do this as like baubles on your tree if you like stamped this in green and then heat embossed these in gold on top of it or something like that. I think that would be fun, or heat embossed it in like a red glitter embossing powder. But today I want to focus on this Santa one. For the black one, we're just going to do it heat embossed in gold just on the black and leaving it as is for that. For the white one, we are going to use my watercolor markers, which I can't seem to find on Amazon now. I did, again, buy these a while ago. These are the Arteza ones, and this case I think I also got on Amazon. But these are all the brown colors, but I'm just going to use probably reds and greens. Again, I don't have these labeled, so I'll have to count out. But I'm thinking 2 greens and 2 reds. So maybe these 2 reds and this green for sure. And maybe this lime one. I think it'll help brighten up the colors overall. And I feel like these 4 colors work well together. So we'll do that. So I'll just get started with my heat embossing first and move over to a voiceover so I can speed this up. Hey guys, so voiceover Liz here. So this first card I'm doing is kind of more of a bonus card, I've kind of decided, because you don't actually technically even need to do this with the watercolor paper. You could just do this on plain black cardstock. I'm not going to be doing any watercoloring on it. I just like the texture of the watercolor, and it kind of looks a little bit of a different black, so it stands out a little bit more because I am going to prop this up as a panel on a card base. But again, like, you don't even have to do that. You could do this straight onto a card base. And then when you heat emboss it, I would maybe like leave it under a book for a day or 2, but this could be like a 1-layer card. So again, this is just like a bonus card. I don't even put the sentiment on it in this video. I do it afterwards. But I pretty much did the same thing I did with the one that I will be watercoloring. So you'll see that at the end photos. I didn't even include it in the thumbnail, to be honest, because it's okay. It's a nice simple card. You can definitely mass produce. I did a bunch of these, I think 2 years ago for Christmas. And I used a Mama Elephant like tree one. It's one of those ones where she has a whole bunch of images piled up into like the shape of a tree, and I forget what it's called, but it was like Santa, Mrs. Claus, and then reindeer and elves throughout. But I did just embossing on panels and then added those to card bases. But I did them like in different colors. So I had like a blue one, a purple one, a red one, a green one, and then like a kraft colored one. And I did the red and green with gold embossing. I did the blue and the purple with silver embossing. And then I did the kraft with white embossing, just so they were all a little bit different. But they're definitely quick and simple and easy to mass produce. So this card that I'm doing here is good for that. The second one that I'm doing, which is the main focus of the video, is also pretty quick. And you could do a bunch of these in no time, but it does obviously take a little bit more time because we will be watercoloring. So here I am, I'm just propping it up on the 1mm foam tape from scrapbook.com, and I'm using Kathy Zielski's method where she kind of like holds the tape on the side and then cuts it downwards so that it's like the correct sizing when you're cutting it. I usually do it the other way where I lay it down and then cut it. This is a little bit easier. Either way works. And then I did have some like gold embossing powder that kind of like the dust of it was sticking to the background a bit, so it kind of looked a little bit splatter-ish, but I just use an eraser to take that off, especially with this black watercolor, because it's not like a hot press. It's a little bit more loose in the fibers, so I just like pretty much erased a layer off, I guess. You don't really notice at all because again of the texture of the cardstock, but I did get rid of some of it here. And then I kind of wanted the same positioning with this white one, so I just kind of put the frame from the black back in here, and then I'm going to tape it down. It does shift here, and then I put it back in. I probably could have just used the bottom piece to line it up, but I used pretty much the whole frame, and then I just took it out and then cut it. There's little eraser bits everywhere. And I just cut it before I did the watercoloring because I wasn't watercoloring outside of this anyway. So it was okay for me to do just the panel as is. You could add like background color to this if you wanted to, or do like a vignette or something. If you're doing the vignette, cut first and then do it after. Or if you're doing color from the image outwards, I would probably cut it after, just so that I could make sure like I cover the entire panel with color, because I would probably do, I don't know, maybe like a gray or something from around the Santa and then fade it out into nothing. So I would use the whole panel for that and then cut it afterwards, making sure that the tree is centered, but also making sure that all the areas are covered. And then this, again, I'm using watercolor markers for this. I think I found a different set that I linked in the last video where I showed these, because this particular set for some reason on Amazon is like well over $100 now. I don't know if it's like high in demand or something like that, but I will just dig up that one that I posted a few weeks ago and use that same link. But pretty much any watercolor markers work, or you can even use water-based markers like Crayolas to do this. And then you would just kind of like scribble those on like an acrylic block or just like a smooth slick surface, and then just add water to it and use it as watercolor. Or you could just, again, use regular watercolor. With the markers, I decided to put all the color down first. This is a do as I say, not as I do kind of video. Don't do this. Make sure that you put the color down and then do the water right away for that section. It is very hard once these dry to kind of like blend out that color. It does look a little streaky. I actually don't mind the finished product, but if you want a smoother blend with less streaks, definitely put the marker down and then water it right away, just so that it leaves the marker a little bit wet. It's a little bit easier to move. I did kind of scribble some onto acrylic block here in a bit, which you'll see, and then I tried to like help it blend out a bit, which also works. But again, you can just go straight from the acrylic block onto here, and that also works. But yeah, I would definitely do one section at a time if you're putting the marker down, and then wet it, and then move on to the next one, and then wet it, and then, you know, you can still work on one color at a time, like do all the red sections first, just so that you're not having to clean off your brush in between colors. So if you wanted to do it across and then down, like you would do a red box and then a green box and then a red box, so you don't want to switch between the two. I would do all of your reds first, then all of your greens next. And then again, do it so that you have marker and then water if you're using these types of products. Again, I don't hate the way it showed when it was finished. Like once it dried, it looks a little bit more vintage, which I kind of like, especially since the watercolor paper is not like a solid bright white. It's more of an off-white. So it kind of adds to that vintage feel. And then I added it to a kraft card base, which I thought was fitting. I didn't want to put it on a white card base. Originally I was going to do that, but because it's like white and off-white, it just makes it look like it's a mistake. So I put it on the kraft, and it works well with the overall look of this and the color scheme. And I definitely think that like more lime green did help brighten this a bit. The darker red and the darker green kind of dull it down a bit, but yeah, I really like this card, and I would definitely do this again. And again, I would probably do different trees with the bauble backgrounds. And again, maybe stamp the stripy tree and then heat emboss the baubles on top of it, kind of thing, and like mix and match them. There's also like just a few geometric prints in here that are not necessarily like Christmassy. You could do them for other projects and just use them as like a repeat background. So there's an idea for that as well if you're interested in this set. And then I just have this little star punch from the dollar store. I have a few star punches. This is the smaller one that I have. I have a bigger one. I don't remember where I got it. It's probably off of Amazon or something. But this one is a smaller one from the dollar store. I also have little star dies that I could have used as well. But I like to add the stars onto these types of stamps just because it just makes it into more of a Christmas tree to me. Because we always had stars and stuff on the tops of our trees growing up most of the time. We did switch to angels at one point, but I do remember having like this white star that lit up with lights that were like on the Christmas tree as well, which was kind of fun. But yeah, originally I was going to heat emboss the sentiment on this, but it didn't turn out well, so I just used the gingerbread ink from Simon's Positively Saturated line because it was pretty much the similar color to the kraft cardstock, so it kind of brought that onto the front of the card as well. So yeah, I just did that instead, and then I'm going to prop that up on some of the 1mm foam tape as well. But yeah, so that's our card for today, guys. Thanks again for joining me. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, comment down below, and let me know your thoughts. If you're not already subscribed to my channel, please subscribe because I'd love to have you here, and make sure to follow me over on Instagram and Facebook for additional content. And until next time, thanks guys, bye.